Listen to this. R2 magazine classifies our first guest's presentation as raw and grooving bluegrass music played with the grace and sophistication of a classical string quartet. Pretty heady stuff right there, Andrew. Andrew Collins is known as the Mandolin Maestro, and he's a 7-time Canadian Folk Music Award winner and combines the talents with fellow musicians Mike Mazzatesta and James McElhenney right here in studio. Well, this Canadian-based trio is currently on tour here in the States and makes a stop right in our studio in the River City. We enjoy the music in just a couple of minutes, but first we want to say hello to Andrew and the boys. Good to see you, man. How are you?
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
You guys are on this massive tour. I mean, Canada all through the Northeast and down to the Southeast as well. What's that like for you, man?
Well, this is our first year touring in the U.S., and it's been really great. Yeah, really well received. It's nice to be playing to audiences that actually know what a mandolin is.
Right, and especially here in Virginia as well.
For sure.
Tell us, how did you and the fellas get together?
I met Mike many years ago in Toronto at a show, ran into him a couple years later when I was playing in BC, and we jammed a few times, and I said, if you ever move back to Toronto, let me know, I'd like to start a band. A couple months later, I get a call from him, I'm in Toronto, so we started a band, and then around that time I was producing an album with a band that James plays in, and loved his playing, loved his vibe, loved his singing.
And the bass. How can you not love this bass?
You need the bass, yeah, it's the root of everything. And asked his band leader if he minded if James joined us in the band. He's like, no, just as long as you don't mind if I ask Mike to join me as well. So we did a little bit of band sharing, yeah.
Where were your influences? Because the music that I've been listening to, it's great fusion of modern and traditional.
Yeah, you know, we all come from like a bluegrassy and jazz background, but the nice thing about those styles of music is they teach you how to jam and how to improvise, and you really need a lot of facility on your instrument to be able to play them. And if you have all those tools, then you can explore any style of music that you like. So start you know, seeking out different sounds, and then you try writing instrumental music or original music that draws from all these influences. So in the 20 years I've been doing it, I still don't have a way to describe it easily. You just have to hear it.
Right, and when people do hear it, unlike being in the studio where you're recording an album, when you're in a music venue like Tin Pan that you're going to be playing at tonight, and you see the reaction, what is that like when you get that crowd feedback?
Well, it's great. I mean, the nice thing about this music, even though we're playing a lot of original music that is maybe less definable, it's drawing from all these other influences. So there's familiarity, even though you can't really define it easily.
What is the passion for you? What do you love about the music?
I love exploring. Yeah, just trying to come up with new ways to push ourselves musically and find new ways to make these musical jokes that have these little punchlines that hopefully people pick up on.
We'll laugh and tap their toes on.
Yeah.
What are we going to hear for right now?
Well, a more straight-ahead song, one that I wrote. You know, I introduce this usually by saying, has anyone else noticed that they watch way more news than they ever did in the last couple of years? And so that's what this one's about, called the Coming Into Hard Time Blues.
Here we go, making their debut appearance on Virginia this morning. This is the Andrew Collins Trio with Coming Into Hard Time Blues. Fellas, take it away.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, something riding at the top of the hill. Just look at whose hands are on the steering wheel. Well, I've got the Coming Into Hard Time Blues. Well, the rich getting richer, poor getting poor. Now the winners, losers, and I'm not for 'em. Well, I've got the low-down feeling coming into hard time blues. Work 3, work 4 jobs forevermore. Work to the bone, can't afford to be poor. Running around while that dead stand still. How did become my worn shoes to fill? And they're telling me that we're living free just as long as you're part of the majority. Well, I've got the low-down feeling coming into hard time blues. Just look to the stars and you find out that you are right where you are. Well, hard time blues. And what you'd wear the mark of the beast just to buy a bunch of junk that you don't really need. Well, I've got the low-down feeling coming into hard time blues. Working 3, working 4 jobs, forevermore. Working to the bone, can't afford to be poor. Running around while that dead stand still. How did these become my worn shoes to fill? And they're telling me that we're living free just as long as you're part of the majority. Well, I've got the low-down feeling coming into hard time blues. Working 3, working 4 jobs, forevermore. Working to the bone, can't afford to be poor. Running around while that dead stands still. How did these become my worn shoes to fill? And they're telling me that we're living free just as long as you're part of the majority. Well, I've got the low-down feeling coming into hard time blues. I got the deep down creeping, no good feeling coming into hard time blues.
That is awesome. Hey, that is the Andrew Collins and Mike Mezzatesta and James McElhenney. They are the Andrew Collins Trio. Their U.S. tour makes a stop here in the River City tonight at the Tin Pan Music Venue right there in Coyoccasin Road. Fantastic venue. The concert starts at 8.